good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from in a part of the world. We welcome you to tonight's session of the Phase 2, Batch B, Phase 2 of the Loaninigeria Women Empowerment Program. We're done with Batch A and we're on Batch B, where we're empowering women with skills. We've done with the Skills Acquisition Program, and now we're on the professional part of it, where we're teaching these women how to be professionals in their different choice of skill. We're molding them to be boss ladies, and we're molding them to be true entrepreneurs and business owners. Tonight, we're having two spectacular, two wonderful, two delectable ladies with us. We're not just having, previously we used to have one. Okay, at the time we had a power couple, and today we're having two wonderful ladies with us. And the first person that will be speaking tonight is Dr. Randi D Ward. A little bit about Dr. Randi D Ward, but before I jump into that, I have to introduce myself. My name is Tega Okoro. I am your host for tonight, and I'm also the chairperson, Loaninigeria. It's not about me tonight, but about the two wonderful ladies who will be impacting knowledge in our women. So let me dive into introducing Dr. Randi D Ward. She is the founder of Reach for the Stars, global leader, a visionary book coach and master editor, published author, YouTuber, Harmony Life coach, practitioner and communication mastery certified person, international motivational speaker, featured on numerous radio podcasts and video. She is a wonderful lady, and she has traveled over 60 countries, and African animal advocate stroke humanitarian. Give a round of applause for our wonderful Dr. Randi D Ward. A standing ovation. Dr. Randi D Ward, please take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those lovely words, Tega. You're a lovely lady. It's so nice to get in touch with you today. Yeah, today, guys, one of the things that I've always had to do in my life is to take risk. And not just in my professional life, but in my personal life. I've been through a lot of my life, and I want to tell you about my story, but I also want to share with you information about how you can take risk safely, and even if you don't fail, how you need to pick yourself up. So let's start now. As we know, taking risk in our lives can be one of the most intimidating and frightening things we ever do. However, at some points in our lives, we must take risk in order to succeed and to be happy. Obviously, sometimes we may fail, but if we do not take a chance, then we fail before we even begin. Our whole perception on life also changes when we look at our challenges or risk as new, exciting adventures in learning or as valuable experiences. Without these, our lives tend to become stagnant, boring, and unproductive. Risk-taking is the process of opening oneself to change, accepting the need for change, and then taking the behavioral steps necessary to accomplish this change. It provides us with the opportunity to pursue our goals and dreams and to discover new talents and abilities, which we all have. It will make us feel powerful and proactive, putting us in charge of our futures instead of waiting for something to happen which is out of our control. It helps us to overcome our fears. It can actually make us feel alive and invigorated. At the age of 19 years, I had to take my first emotional and physical risk. When I was 15, I suffered a serious left knee injury, leaving me unable to walk. At 19, still unable to walk, surgery to help me caused paralysis in my lower leg. Doctors told me I most likely would never walk normally again. But I was young, and not believing them, I created my own exercise program. Remember, this was a long time ago, okay, before physical therapy was really the end thing to do. I took the needed risk and taught myself to walk in 1 year. Yes, it took a whole year, but I never gave up. I have taught myself to walk many times due to constant problems with my knees. But if I had not taken that first risk to find ways to heal myself, I could be sitting in a wheelchair today. This is not acceptable to me. I need to walk, I need to dance, I need to move to fulfill all the dreams that I want to do. In 1989, after teaching 18 years in small towns in West Virginia, USA, and having had the great opportunity to travel internationally and explore different cultures and lifestyles, I felt I needed to live in a different environment, one offering more opportunities for success and new adventures or challenges. My life had become stagnant and unfulfilled. Thus, I took the initiative and bravely accepted a teaching position in the inner city area of metropolitan Atlanta, Georgia. I went from teaching in a small rural Caucasian junior high to a huge inner city, predominantly African-American high school. The transition was far from easy. I spent the first 4 months living alone in a small apartment without my husband until his company transferred to Atlanta. Dealing with inner city students from lower economic backgrounds and often family problems turned out to be the greatest teaching challenge in my career so far. It took me almost a year to adapt to their educational and behavioral needs and problems, but I did it. Adapting to living in a large, busy city of heavy traffic and people everywhere took some time too. But it was the right decision for me. My husband and I happily have lived in our lovely home in Gwinnett County for more than 31 years until his death in 2019 from lung cancer. I successfully taught in 4 different schools in Georgia for an additional 19 years before retiring in May 2008. Yes, I taught in public schools for 37 years, guys. It was an amazing experience, and it either kills you or it keeps you young, and I feel it kept me young. Taking risk involves an honest appraisal of the current situation and then a thorough understanding of the risk involved in taking the needed actions. We must, as ladies, weigh the pros and cons and hopefully choose the best action to achieve the change. If the choice turns out to be an unsuccessful choice, then it's necessary to try something else. Trial and error is often a major part of taking risk in our lives. Taking risk often involves courage, like moving to a big city by myself, determination, and lots of hard work. We may at times receive criticism and lack of approval from those around us. But as risk takers, we must find a way to deal with this in an objective rather than a subjective manner. Taking advice from others can be helpful, but the ultimate decision on how to achieve our changes or goals belongs to us. Thus, as entrepreneurs, we must be willing and able to accept the final results. In the spring of 2011, I met a young man on Facebook who was opening an adult English language center called Spread Your English, SYE, in Cairo, Egypt. He offered me a teaching position. At first, I was not interested, but I made a trip to Egypt to go to a wedding, and I never met the lady and didn't go to her wedding in May of 2011. And I actually took time to visit this school, this center. And I watched the instructors teach. Some of them were from the UK. There were Americans there. But as a teacher of 37 years, I thought, I can do better than this. I don't mean that to sound vain, but I had a lot of experience in teaching students from other countries too. So I thought, I can do better than this. So I went home and I thought about this experience, thought about this school, and decided that maybe I should do this. During the months prior to this job offer, though, protesters and unhappy Egyptians had overthrown President Mubarak on January 25th, 2011. Egyptian was now relatively calm in its transitional period to set up a desired democracy. I had retired 3 years before that and was once again bored and needed new motivation and challenges in my life. Teaching in Egypt became a dream of mine. I had been in Egypt in 1996 as a tourist and fell in love with the country and the people. So I'm thinking, this is my way to help. However, this desire was met with much criticism and disapproval from my husband and my son. They feared for my safety there. I prayed many hours over this and even had dreams at night that I interpreted were from God, telling me that I must go there to help these young students to become more fluent in English. So, in spite of all the outside dissent I faced, I took the risk and flew to Cairo alone in November 2011. My husband stayed home to take care of our important family business and our St. Bernard. 1 week after I arrived in Cairo, the second revolution began. The Egyptian citizens were impatiently demanding a speedier government reform. My flat, ladies, was 3 blocks from Tahrir Square, the violent center of the revolution. During the 3 months I lived there as a teacher, I was exposed to violence constantly and tear gas on a daily basis. One night in December 2011, 1/2 block from my flat, I actually listened to a gun battle between the protesters and the military police for 6 hours. Sadly, 12 people died and 120 people were injured that night. I cried all night, not out of fear for my safety, but for the protesters, because I knew people were dying and getting hurt. I did not sleep at all that night. Silence suddenly returned. It was very eerie. And at 8 a.m. Saturday, I ventured outside to find the battle scene completely clean, but now surrounded with barbed wire. I got dressed and went to the center to teach in an hour. I was teaching young adults, university students, and young professionals. I had a job. So I maintained my professionalism and went to a school to teach. I don't know how I got through it that day, but somehow I did with the help of my students. With all the turmoil of these 3 months, it was still the greatest teaching experience in my career and led to my second career, that of a writer. When I came home, the dreams began again. Okay, I kept you safe. No one hurt you. You had a great experience. You did amazing things in Egypt and places where it was safe. Now you must write your book, and you must tell the world what you experienced in Egypt and about all the wonderful people you met, including your students. You must tell their story, their fight for democracy. So at the end of 2012, my memoir, Because I Believed in Me, My Egyptian Fantasy Came True, became a reality. And by the way, I had a Facebook contest for the title, and 2 Egyptians named my book. In my book, there are 153 pictures that I took, 45 of them from my students, to also tell the story. Because even though I'm an English teacher, I believe the pictures also tell stories. So this amazing experience changed my life in so many incredible ways and enabled me to start a much new needed career and passion, writing. A new risk was started. Many obstacles or roadblocks must be overcome in order for us to feel comfortable taking risk. First, it is essential to get rid of the fear of rejection or failure, the need for approval, or the need to avoid guilt. We must not let mistakes stop us. These mistakes create new knowledge and thus provide greater strength and more resources than we had in the past. We must not fall prey for self-defeating thinking by focusing on what we cannot do and by comparing ourselves to others. Not every risk I have taken in my life has been successful. Between the years of 2013 and 2015, after I returned home, I opened 2 language schools in Cairo, Egypt, with some Egyptian friends and partners. The first one was an adult English and German center called Riza. Ehab and Maham and Ahmed, who had been my students in my more advanced classes, and I worked diligently to get the student population necessary to pay our expenses. However, unfortunately, due to the continued economic and political turmoil in Egypt, we were forced to close after just 1 year. The second attempt was a nursery school called 6 October Nursery, named for the city where the nursery was located, which is a suburb of Cairo. Once again, even though my partner Samar Farouk did her best, health problems she incurred from long hours of working there and the continued problems in Egypt were the downfall of this center. Unable to be in Egypt during this time, I could only assist via the internet and the telephone. This also may have contributed to our problems. You know, ladies, I do not regret opening these schools, though, because it taught me some important lessons about business management, which I really didn't know that much about, because as a teacher, I just went into my classroom and closed my door. I didn't have to worry about business. Maybe one day in Egypt, if Egypt becomes more stable, I will attempt to establish another center. It was my dream to open schools, and I did it, and I have no regrets. Risk-taking is inherent in entrepreneurship, as you all know. If you're not prepared to take risk, you have no business becoming an entrepreneur. You will need to invest some of your personal capital into a growing business in most cases. You may have to stake your reputation on something unproven. You may have to sacrifice a steady paycheck for an extended period of time, up to a year maybe. This reality can be frightening. I invested thousands of dollars and many hours of unpaid working hours to those 2 schools in Egypt. I never saw a personal profit in money, but the rewards I received were in seeing students, young and older, improve their English skills during this time. During this time was the biggest reward of all. For me, this was enough. As I said earlier, my dream of opening not 1 but 2 schools in a country in desperate need of this language education had become my reality. Depending upon your type of business, other problems can occur. Your employees might quit, if you're lucky enough to have some. Your lead generation strategies may not work as you planned. You might even make a client angry and lose that client. You must accept and even expect some problems like these to occur. Having a backup plan is essential and highly recommended. Be smart on saving any money you can, if possible, for those difficult times. It is also important to remember there are different kinds of risk. The ambiguous risk involves some knowns, but also some unknowns. Factors like consumer and economic shifts are so difficult to predict. The second kind, and the totally unknowns, which occur when you introduce something truly unique to the market. It is important to know which ones you are taking, so you will be prepared to deal with the potential problems. As stated earlier, some risk won't pay off. The optimist will see things as half full. 50% chance of success is pretty good odds, and 75% chance of success is a sure thing. However, do not be fooled into thinking all risks are good and are always a good idea. Some will fail, like my schools. If this happens, do not take it personally. Learn from the experience, as I have done, and move on. Making excuses must also be avoided. Some challenges can be difficult. It is too easy to fabricate reasons not to do them. It is absolutely essential to determine which reasons are real and figure out ways to solve them, and which are simply excuses, and then eliminate those. Remaining positive, open-minded, and determined will help us to stay on the right path to overcome potential procrastination and setbacks in overcoming our challenges. We must always believe in ourselves, but not always feel that we have to be right all of the time, or know all of the correct approaches to deal with our challenges. Seeking the advice or assistance of experts or people who have successfully overcome challenges similar to ours is highly recommended and beneficial. This could save you much time and eliminate some of those trial and error methods I mentioned earlier that we often must utilize to achieve our goals. Publishing my memoir about my life in Egypt was a challenge with which I had little knowledge and no experience. I tried to do this independently first, but finally accepted the fact I needed assistance from experts. I chose to self-publish with a company called Author House. The decision turned out to be a costly adventure because of the publishing and publicity packages I chose. I won't even tell you how much I paid. You would go, oh my God, Randy. I do have a lot of regrets spending so much money since sales of my books so far have been disappointing. Like every new author, you think your book is going to become a bestseller and everybody in the world is going to want to read it. Well, it didn't happen, ladies. But I did learn to become a semi-expert on the industry over the past few years. I am now much better prepared for future book publications and will either submit my books to traditional publishers or more likely become my own publisher. I have not given up hope that one day many readers will purchase my love story of Egypt and its people. And I also want someday to have it translated into Arabic. Still got my fingers crossed on that one. Since 2012, I have continued to write. As an English teacher, that was easier for me. I've written short stories for children and adults, novels, poems, essays, blogs, YouTube videos, magazine articles, autobiographical articles, etc. I have appeared, as stated earlier, in quite a few magazines and books. Have even been on the cover of some. My blogs are on my website. Some include my poems, and my YouTube videos include my writing. I post my work on Facebook, but have not published any more of my personal books because of my bad experience. I've been researching and learning about the ever-changing publishing world to avoid another big mistake. The next risk I will take will be taken with much more expertise. I am also branding myself, which is necessary, as you know, ladies, for future success. Very important in my opinion. I am now a multi-award recipient, Educator of the Decade in Language Arts, 2021, 100 Most Successful Women, international best-selling author, and 2 anthologies with other people. And on June 19th, 2021, I received my honorary doctorate in humanitarianism. These and all the other awards I've received touch my heart deeply, but they're not really who I am. I am a woman who wants to give back to people and who wants to see others succeed. And this is the reason I'm here today. I want you to learn and succeed and make your business what you want it to be. I want you to achieve all of your dreams, because my life philosophy and my copyrighted quote, guys, is believe in yourself. Don't dream big, dream bigger. The sky is the limit, so reach for the stars. And believe me, I'm always reaching for the stars, and they're way up there, so I keep doing that. Soon I will publish my first novel, guys, in early 2022, and I will tell you more about why this novel is so important to me in a few minutes. In June 2014, I finally had to have a total left knee replacement, that knee that kept me from walking all those years and has caused me to have to learn to walk so many times. This was a physical and mental risk for me. I was barely walking again, but I had friends who had had unsuccessful surgery results, so I was terrified to do this. I had put off this surgery for over 10 years. Thank God it went well, but it did require 4 months of intense physical therapy and 1 year to heal 100%. Sadly, almost exactly 6 months from the date of my knee replacement, tragedy struck me again when I was in a near fatal car accident on my way to the gym to exercise. I broke 8 bones in my body: my neck, 4 fractures in my left side ribs, 2 fractures in my left side pelvis, a severely broken left arm, which now has an 8-inch plate and 6 pins in it. And I had a collapsed left lung and a lacerated spine. I had to be cut out of my car. My door was shoved into my left side, 17 inches, ladies. I spent 18 days in 2 hospitals. 3 of those were in ICU. 8 months of intense physical therapy on various parts of my body, and wore a cast on my arm for 2 months, plus a neck brace for 93 days to heal. I could have felt sorry for myself. My pain was intense, but I chose a different path. I took another risk. I used my imagination, took a big emotional risk, and wrote a 400-page novel, adventure novel, that travels to 7 countries using my right hand. This decision kept me from wasting almost 1 year of my life. I successfully wrote this book. It was my salvation. This novel, Random Wanderings, is that first book that I mentioned earlier that I will publish in 2022. It is a big part of my heart. Tragedy struck again with the shocking death of my wonderful husband of 47 years from lung cancer on December 15th, 2019. For the first time in my life, I could not control the situation. I am a control freak, I admit it. I'm a teacher. I always think I can find a way to fix everything, but I could not save my husband. I could not give him my strength. I became deeply depressed for the first time in my life. And believe me, all these things that I've been through, I never got depressed. I just found ways to get over whatever the problem was. But this was so deep. My grief overwhelmed me. Then what I considered another miracle occurred. I've had others learning how to walk, surviving that car accident, but I needed my third miracle. A teleconference call with a coach intrigued me in February 2020. 1 hour after this call, I registered for online courses, and from March 2020 to July 1st, I became certified in life harmony, holistic emotional intelligence, NLP, and communication mastery. Yes, I am an overachiever. And yes, when I do something, I do it all the way, more than 100% if possible, okay? I took a big professional risk and have started career number 3 at the age of 72, by the way, guys, as a visionary book writing coach and master editor. Again, it was a logical thing because of my English skills as a teacher. I now help people write their stories and then edit them to make them as perfect as possible. It gave me a new focus, a new goal, a new way to help people. It helped me to move forward with my life and to keep my promise to my husband, Bill, on his deathbed to continue to dream bigger. Finding ways to overcome our problems is essential. If we are unhappy in our lives, we recognize that change could be advantageous and provides us with the kind of lives we wish to live. However, we must conduct a thorough self-evaluation, as I said earlier, and determine what it is that will make us happy, and then decide what change is needed. All through my life, I have been searching for that next step to find the joy in my life. Sorry, I get emotional. I always try to find solutions to the negatives. Throughout my life, this self-assessment has been an ongoing process. Ladies, we must think long-term. I am constantly searching for new challenges. The risks we take, though, can be extremely time-consuming with many hurdles or bumps along the way, but the rewards are so endless if we reach our dreams. Therefore, we as risk takers must be unconditionally prepared emotionally, psychologically, and even physically for what lies ahead of us. Be ready to adapt if needed, and it will be needed, trust me. As the saying goes, why not go for it? We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. As I stated earlier, I am a poet. Some of you may have heard this poem before because I use it a lot because it's dear to my heart. But as a final comment, I wish to share one of my personal poems. And when I need to remotivate myself, I write my life philosophy: believe, don't dream bigger, the sky is the limit, so reach for the stars. And I read this poem, which is entitled, Look Inside Yourself. I wrote it many years ago, but it's still dear to my heart. Look inside yourself to find what you can see. Do you honestly see what you want to be? If not, there is no need to waste, no time to waste. You need to make some changes in haste. Everything in this world is open to you. You just must be willing to take a risk or two. It may not be easy to do this at the start. It will require hard work and passion from your heart. Some people may try to stand in your way. You must be strong and tell them to go away. You must reach down inside to unearth your power. You must strive to climb to the top of your life tower. The climb may be slower than you hope or desire, but when you reach the top, your heart will feel the fire. So always move forward and never look back. Doing this will keep you progressing on the perfect track. Now, for the ladies that are here with me today, I want you to take some time, and the ladies that might be on Facebook, you can also do this and comment. We may not be able to hear your responses, but I want you to think about this. If you have started your business, even if you haven't, we've all taken risks in our lives. And as I said, some of them are very frightening, but without them, we cannot move forward. I want you right now to take a few minutes, get out a sheet of paper, if you have it available, and I want you to write down a risk that you've taken in your life that failed miserably. Hopefully you don't have one, but I feel that we've all had a risk that did not turn out the way we wanted. I want you to write down that risk, and I want you to think about why it didn't work. Then I also want you below that to write something that you took a risk and it worked out perfectly. And I want you to figure out, why did it work and others did not work? If you'll take a few minutes of that, and then the ladies that are here, I would like for you to share that. I know there aren't that many here, but then I'm going to go on and talk about the second part of my talk today, which I think is very important. It's something else I want you to do. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then I'd like for you to share. Remember, one risk that you took that didn't turn out the way you wanted and why you think it didn't, and a second risk that did turn out. You were so proud of it, but why did it work and others have not? What did you do differently? This is important for you to learn. I'm reading your comments. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you another minute, and then we're going to see if anybody wants to share. If you don't want to share, that's fine. But I really do want you to do this activity because I think it'll help you see the kind of risk that you want to take and which ones work for you. Okay, does anybody want to share? Simone, I know you're there. Would you like to share? If you do, unmute yourself, dear.
Yes. Hi, Dr. Randi. Thank you very much. I'm just enjoying the session so much.
Thank you.
Well, right. Okay, so a risk I took that didn't work. I'm an entrepreneur, and I like to, get involved in different business ventures. A couple of years ago, I tried getting into an small agriculture venture with two gentlemen, and I invested a few $1,000s. It didn't work. I got, ripped off, for want of a better word. Yeah, I'm trying to evaluate why I didn't. I think when I was, trusting, some things were down on paper, some wasn't, Maybe I should have taken a little more precaution paper-wise. Yes. But yeah, there were intentions to do further business. So I just thought, well, what's a few $1,000s, nothing much. So yeah. And the other venture that I went into, which worked, the risk I took was actually with my girls empowerment program that I'm presently doing. I normally run my programs, on my own. I think I'm so accustomed to doing everything myself. And strangely, this time I had various collaborators from different, countries within the region. And I'm so accustomed, like you're so holding on to everything so tight, and I'm accustomed teaching all the various subjects, etc. And I just had to run the risk of letting go, a bit, and letting the others, handle their areas of expertise and allowing them into, what I class as my space, And yeah, I took that risk of letting go a bit and allowing others to come into the program and share their skills and pour into the program. And that really has worked out of it's a wonderful team, So I'm really, really happy I took that risk.
Simone, I'm exactly the same way. I'm a very trusting person. I trusted this publisher to do all these amazing things for me, and they didn't. The guy that I hired for my publicity, it was outrageous. I won't even tell you how much I paid. I don't think he ever read my book, because I would question him about parts of my book and he didn't know anything about the book. So how can he promote me if he hadn't read my book? So I understand about trust and getting ripped off. I do feel like, I did get my book published, but I felt like I did get ripped off. And I'm the same way. I'm an editor for 3 magazines right now and a bunch of books. In fact, I'd even edited the 100 Successful Women book. But I'm like you. I like to do things myself because I don't really trust anybody else to do it. And I know I have to, because I want it done correctly, and it is so hard to let go. So I'm there with you, but I'm learning too that you have to let go and let other people do things that are easy for them to do, so you can have time to do the things that maybe are more difficult, that you want more perfection. So I totally understand. And God bless you, dear, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. God bless. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know your name. In Phoenix Note 7, would you like to share? If you don't, just say no, that's okay. Maybe she's not there. Shamila, my dear friend Shamila, are you want to share something, dear?
She said she can't speak. She has a bad sinus infection.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, dear. Get better soon. Would you like to share, Miss Taggart?
Well, from growing up, yes, I've had so many things I've ventured into because I'm a person who loves do it yourself. Like just like Simon said, I love crafts. I love making things with my hands. I love that a lot. So I've ventured into a lot. Like I've done organic cream. I've done trying to make bags, shoes. And you know, when you have the passion to do things, but when you've not really gone into that, which it's in line with your vision, you wouldn't get so far with it. So while doing all of that, I didn't really go far with them. Although I did a lot of it, I shared with friends as gifts, but I didn't really go far because it wasn't in line with my vision. But
Right.
since when I started doing this empowerment program, I've been feeling more fulfilled than I was before. And I feel this is an experience and this is something that is in line with what the person I am. So, and so far in fact, I'm above the sky. I'm even reaching for the stars. Just like you said, I'm dreaming bigger and bigger every day because I'm going beyond my limits and I'm pushing myself to do more daily.
Perfect. Yes, and I love that. You're right. One of the things you have to do is decide what your vision is, and you've done that. And it takes a time. Sometimes it takes trial and error and mistakes to decide what that is. But you're on the right track now. So I wish you all the luck. God bless you, dear. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else that would like to share? Miss Dr. Caroline, would you like to share? Even though I know she's probably one of the most successful women in the entire world, would you like to share anything that didn't work out for you at the beginning?
Hi.
Hi,
Can
Caroline.
you hear me? Sorry, you might
Yes,
be
we
hearing
love you.
some noise. You might be hearing some noise and stuff. So what I missed? Sorry, I was just doing multitasking. What was the question? I do apologize.
I just said you're probably one of the most successful women in the whole world, but we're sure that maybe there's some risk that you took that didn't turn out, maybe in the early days of your career. Would you like to share that with us?
Okay, yes. I think I try when obviously when I was young, I tried to sorry, let me just go here.
I'm sorry to put you on
I was
the
into
spot.
fashion and I was trying to sell some clothes, shoes, but obviously didn't work because I can say that I was young. And probably that time as well, that was the time when I lost my parents as well, yes. You know, when I was young. So my mind was not focusing very well. So hence why. But the risk that I took, I could say that I had this idea, which I said, oh, I'm going to create this, it was like a dream. I want to create this initiative where I can bring people together, different cultures, nationality, and then we can share our ideas, help each other, connecting cultures, things like that. It was something which I have, and I was just writing it down. And then I was telling other people, and then they say, no, this is not a good idea. I don't think it will work. But I said, look, I think I would just, at least just try. You never know. So yes. When I launched Aloni, I just say, and then people will say, oh, I don't think it's going to work. But I say to myself, it's about the vision.
Yes.
The most important thing in life is about the vision. If I say I want to connect cultures together, if I have two people from different nationality, that is my vision. Yes. So I took that risk. So yeah, and then I created Lonnie, but it was like a vision which I had. And then also the other idea which I had was creating beautiful survivors, supporting those who have gone through a lot of struggles, pain, because, because me, I lost my parents as well. So, and then someone is telling me that, I don't think it's going to work. You cannot just bring survivor. It doesn't work. But then I told them that there's a reason behind it, because I also want to shine a light on them. And I also want them to turn their pain into power. And I also want them to have an opportunity to share their story so that they can inspire someone to rewrite their own stories. So since we created Beautiful Survivors, it has transformed so many people's lives. And I'm very proud of that initiative as well. So I think that was another risk as well. So what I can only say is it's about the vision. When you have a vision, no one can stop you. People will tell you that it doesn't work, but you can say, okay, if it doesn't work, at least I've tried. So just follow your vision and reach that finishing line. So that's all I can say. All right.
And now how many countries is Lonnie in now? 150?
About 157 now, 157 countries.
So
yes.
You did get more than just 2. I think you succeeded.
Yes, exactly. And that's why sometimes a lot of people, they have vision, but it's about action. You can have a vision, but what are you going to do with it? It's about the action. So, and also what I always say, that your surrounding is your success. You need people who are on the same journey with you, because you're able to reach that finishing line together, and you're able to support each other as well. So, yeah. So
as you know,
thank you so much, Randi.
And you're one of my biggest sisters and one of my biggest supporters. And I am one of the Beautiful Survivor awardees. So I'm so honored for that, because as you can see, I've been through a lot, but hey, I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm still doing my thing. And I'm going to do that until the day I pass away, whatever that is. So, so we never give up, right?
Yeah, and also, the other reason, just one second, the other reason of Beautiful Survivor is because a lot of people, they have awards, but they can always, it's like, they're giving awards because someone has done this, has achieved this. But I ask myself that there are people who are going through a lot of struggles. But the fact that they are here and they're using their voices and inspiration to someone, I think they deserve that award, and we need to shine their light, because when they're sharing their story, they're helping someone. It's an inspiration to other people. So, yeah.
And that is a perfect segue into what I'm going to be doing. Does anybody else want to speak or have a comment before we move on?
From Dr. Shamila. She dropped a note. She said, I need to trust people more. I have huge trust issues. Same as Simone. I take on too much and need to delegate working on that, because having 3 to 4 hours of sleep is not enough. So that's from Dr. Shamila.
Shamila, we need to talk, honey. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm going to have to get on you and make sure you're getting your sleep, because I get my 7 to 8 hours sleep no matter what. I may work from 8 until I go to bed, but then I get that 7 hours sleep. So yes, dear, it'll start to affect your health. So you've got to get more rest. And yes, you do need to learn to delegate. Yes, we all do need to learn how to do that. Okay, thank you for sharing, and thank you for reading that. Does anybody else want to share before we move on?
I recommend Amb Adaobi.
Okay, do you want to speak, sweetie? I think she's busy doing stuff. I didn't want to. I know she's going to speak later, and I didn't want to take.
She's off the camera for now. So, but I will check Facebook. I'll check Facebook if we have any comments, and if we have anything, I'll just chip it in as you're speaking.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, what I want to do next is I'll go ahead and get started, and we can always go back to that. And Dr. Caroline led beautifully to what I want to talk about next. The next risk I want you to take. And anybody can do this, no matter what business you're in, or even if you're not in a business, but you have a story that you think can inspire people. Sorry. My crazy phone. It rings all the time, sorry. It's telling your story. And I'm not talking about writing a book about how you do your business. I'm talking about telling who you are. Okay, as you know, the big thing going around in publishing now, if you look on Amazon, a lot of the stories, the books are about people telling about their lives. And we love listening to other people's stories. We loved finding out what happened to them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was amazed when I started researching on this to read that 70% of what we learn is through stories. Think about that, okay? But it makes perfect sense. We're hardwired for narratives. It's how the human brain works. But we make sense of the world, how we make sense of the world in our lives. So if you want to connect with your audience, with your readers, with your clients, with whoever you're connecting with, then they need to know who you are, and you can do that through telling your stories. Okay, but why is it important to tell your story? Let me give you some reasons. Stories draw upon our universal need for connection. In some fundamental sense, we need stories. One of the most powerful ways of inspiring others is by using the one tool you have that no one else has, your life story. Your individual experience of the world is the most valuable asset you possess. And despite what you may have been told in business, these days, character trumps credentials. In other words, if you want people to trust you in your business, they have to know who you are. And then once they know who you are and what you've been through and your background, they're more likely to do business with you. Telling your story with all its challenges, mistakes, failures, pain, setbacks, as well as its joys, successes, and victories, says something about what it means to be human. Telling your story can even inspire others to take the first step on their path to becoming a public speaker. Make it personal, guys. What might surprise you is that the more personal the story, the more universal it becomes. If you allow yourself to be vulnerable and authentic, the audience will be able to locate themselves in your story, even if your life experience has been very different from theirs. Also, simple is best. When deciding on which story or stories to tell, the key is to keep it simple. Don't get bogged down in the details. Engage your inner editor and focus on the elements that will underline your message or engage the emotions of the audience, preferably both. From a legacy perspective, we tell our stories for ourselves and as a gift to future generations. How does telling the story benefit us? Well, we need to know and express our own stories. Difficulties arise not because we have a story, perhaps a very sad or painful story, but because we have become attached to our stories and make them an essential part of our very selves. Telling our stories is not an end to itself, but an attempt to release ourselves from them, to evolve and grow beyond them. We tell our stories to transform ourselves, to learn from our history and tell our experiences to transcend them, to use our stories to make a difference in our world, to broaden our perspective to see further than normal, to act beyond a story that may have imprisoned or enslaved us, to live more of that spiritual and earthly potential, guys. How does telling our stories benefit future generations? Stories connect the past and present to the future. Our stories and our learning from them honors and respects our ancestors and us. They can awaken future generations to their potential. They model a way to use their stories to release themselves as they connect to their history and to their values. One of the most basic functions of stories is to teach. We use stories to quickly and easily learn facts, but stories can also teach us how to be. Through stories, we communicate to our children and to outsiders how to act toward one another, what we value and what is possible. Stories preserve our history and our culture, passing along in a form that's easy to remember to the next generation. Stories bring order and meaning to the chaos and randomness of life. If we cannot tell our stories, we lose a huge part of who we are. Our culture and future generations are lost while trying to live the stories other people may tell about us that may not always represent who we truly are. How does it benefit everybody? You have the power to create your own story so you can pass down the values you believe in to the current and future generations. In my opinion, this is a moral imperative to do. Because if you continue to allow other people to tell your story, You will always be subject to their rules and their values. So what can you do? You can start to write down the stories you've been told as a child by your parents and grandparents. You can start to create a story that teaches the values you believe in for children all over the world to read. You can just simply start creating. Telling your story allows you to make sense of your reality and provides you with release. Telling your story helps you heal from trauma or difficult events. Telling your own story helps you to learn more about yourself. Telling your own story helps you to connect the past, the present, and the future. Telling your own story helps keep your memories alive. Telling your own story helps you find meaning in your life. Telling your own story broadens your perspective and helps you evolve. Telling your own story is empowering. It gives you a voice and helps you feel like you matter. Telling your own story helps you connect with others through shared experiences. And finally, telling your own story can help and inspire others. Once you've connected with individuals that need to hear your story, you're in a position to help and inspire others to write and share their own stories with the world. And the world needs more authentic, inspiring people like you ladies. In the process of helping others, you might even become an inspiration to yourself, further fueling yourself. So, as I always say, write about yourself. Tell your story, ladies. There's somebody out there needs to hear what you have lived through, what you have done, the struggles you have done. You don't know how you can help somebody until you tell your story. And if you need help with that, Teacher Randy is here to help you with that. Just contact me. Love you all, and I hope you got some beneficial information today. You're muted, Tega.
Oh, sorry. I just noticed. Thank you so much. That was inspiring. And it was, in fact, I never knew you were even up to 50, not talk of 72. What? I was surprised, like you don't even look it. You're looking so beautiful. You look like you just turned 40 yesterday.
Thank you. Well, like I said, when you teach teenagers for 37 years, they either kill you or keep you young. I think they kept me young because in my head, I still think I'm 26. The body doesn't always agree, but the brain says, you're 26. And I'm going to be 26 next year and the year after that and the year after that. So keeping that mind thought helps me to stay young. So thank you for that sweet compliment.
Yes, and I'm glad. So thank you so much for your session. I don't know if anyone has anything to say to Dr. Randy before we move to the next part of tonight's meeting.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Dr. Randy, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you for everything and thank you for your support. You're an inspiration to us as well. And we really appreciate it as well. We know that your session is going to inspire so many people, including our sisters in Nigeria. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, one more comment. I didn't say that I'm still struggling for my knees. I just had knee surgery again and fell on my face, have a scar on my face, and I'm recovering from all of that. I'm going to have stem cell in October, and I'm struggling again, but I'm taking another risk to learn how to walk again through stem cells. So again, still having trouble with my legs, but like I said, 26 here, maybe 126 in my legs, but I'm still here. I'm still doing my thing. So God bless everybody, and thank you for allowing me to share my story with you today.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Randy. It's really nice. And we're moving on to the part 2 of tonight's session. We have another wonderful lady. In fact, she is my Nigerian sister. She is from Nigeria, but she resides in UK. And she is a wonderful personality. A little about her. I met her in Loaninigeria group. Okay, sorry about that. So like I was saying, I met her in Loani, and since then we've been bonding. We've had a lot of time together. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this wonderful lady. Her name is Adaobi Onyekweli. She's an Amazon best-selling author of the book Reinvent Yourself, Creating Infinite Possibilities for Your Life. She is an international motivational speaker and has spoken around the world to more than 10,000 people. Can you beat that? She's in conferences and workshops on the topic of empowerment families. Today, she will share with mothers how to reinvent themselves and realize what is important for them in their lives and go after it. She believes that paying attention and being present to your family is the greatest gift a motherhood can bring. And did I tell you that she's also a survivor from heart attack? In fact, she has seen death and she is back. So help me in welcoming this beautiful and amiable, wonderful Nigerian lady, Adaobi Onyekweli.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes, I am happy to be here today and to be talking to all of you. I've got a PowerPoint. Am I allowed to share it later?
And yes, I will just make you a co-host so you could
Okay.
share. Yeah.
Today, what I'm speaking about how to empower yourself for success in your personal life. Today, I'll be talking about steps that you can take so that whatever business you are doing can come out fantastic and you sane in that business. So I would like to start with my PowerPoint. What do I do now? Share. Host has disabled.
Yeah, I think Tega should put you as a co-host.
Or shall I send it to Tega?
No, just hold 1 second. Tega.
I've made you a co-host. You can share now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, make it PowerPoint. So, let me start again. Share. So I'm looking for this PowerPoint now. Okay. No, this is not it. Stop share. Sorry, I'm just share screen. That is not my screen. Caroline.
Your screen is showing. Yes. You just have to click on what you want to share.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you close the share screen, then open up the file you want to share. Yeah.
Can you see what I'm sharing now?
Yes, empowering yourself for success in your personal life.
Sorry, yeah. I think I needed education on that, Randy. So today I'll be talking about how to empower yourself for success in your personal life. Why do we need this? We need this because once you are empowered, it leads to confidence. And once you have confidence, it leads to success, which is what we all want, right? Isn't it? So I'll be talking about 5 steps to feel more empowered. Because the reason I'm putting this on is because I was in a situation where I was feeling less empowered. I had idea in my head. Some of you here, you have ideas in your head. And some people find it very easy to bring out these ideas. But for some people, they need support. They need a way to relate, which we call relatability. So for the lovely audience here today, I want to thank you for showing up. It's really touched my heart that something that Loani, our sister, has created has actually drawn a lot of crowd. We want to thank Dr. Professor Caroline Makaka for setting this up. And also want to thank Tega Okoro for representing Loaninigeria and inviting all of you on that platform. Without much ado, I will be sharing these steps now. For so many years, I have struggled with coordinating my business. You know how it is if you have a business that you want to lift up the ground, you find yourself not being able to do it, either because of looking at somebody that is so good. You know, how many of you know somebody that is doing so good in a business and you love this person's way of doing it? You think they are special. You think they are the guru. And you said, no, I can't be like this person. That is putting somebody on a pedestal. Why do we do that? We do that because sometimes the way we look at that person, they are successful. They are a go-getter. So many years ago, I wanted to do something for myself. That was about 20 years ago. But I see people doing all these things. They are so good, I can't even be like them. And you know, sometimes what we do, we just give up because we feel these people are better. But you know what? If you put people on a pedestal, that is a wrong way to look at your business because you don't know where they started from. They could have been starting their business in maybe their parents helped them or somebody picked them up, but you are there comparing yourself to them and that puts you off. So you shouldn't put people on a pedestal. Just see them as normal human beings. If you need support, you can go to them. But when you put them right up there, you can't even touch them. And that discourages you from your business. The second thing about empowering yourself is that everybody is unique. We can't all be Davido or Beyonce. When Beyonce was there, before she ever became somebody, we have people like, who are those all this? Dolly Parton, we had a fella, but she came with her own style. So just like the peas in a pod, everybody is different. You are 100% unique. And the reason that you were created is because God wanted you to put your own flavor into the world. If all Maggies are the same, we won't be buying crayfish Maggi or Dawa Dawa Maggi. It will be the same. So for Randi, Dawa Dawa Maggi is some things in Nigeria. I'm using this because I'm speaking to Nigerian people. These are some of the things I can compare with because I know that's what they see every day. So you are unique. Embrace yourself. Don't think that you have to be like the next person because the concept of the way you come into your business is what somebody else is going to gain from. So you have to be 100% unique. And the next one is watch your internal monologues. Why do I say that? Because sometimes, how many of you has tried to start something, and something is telling you, you can't do it, you can't make it, you don't have all the skills. Those are your internal monologues. And when you hear this, what do you do? Do you just say, go away, or do you continue? Can anybody give me a yes if they continue with what they're doing, or a no if they say go away? Can you write that in the chat, please? Yes for continue, and end for go away to these dialogues. Sorry, my kids are making noise. Sorry, that was the dialogue. Yes, I said go away. So sometimes, okay, I can say that on the chat. Thank you very much. These dialogues, when they come to you, they come in the form of negative emotions or negative thoughts. They say, oh, you are not good enough, you're not this enough. All you have to do is try to ignore it, because they're only there to test you. How can you know you are strong if you do not put yourself in a testing mode? So they are there to test you. I'm going to continue sharing my screen now because I just came off. Okay, the screen. So watch your internal monologue. How do you defeat it? You can stay grounded by having a meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be long. It can take like 2 seconds, 4 minutes. Just have a meditation, and it will quieten your mind and remove all the negativity. Because as long as you are alive, as long as you have blood, these things are going to keep coming. The next one is act in spite of your fear. How many of you have doubts that you cannot do it? You cannot do some of the things you want to do. Let's say, for instance, you want to start a coaching business, or you want to start a nanny agency in Nigeria or in Africa or anywhere in the world. You have this fear that says you haven't got this degree, you don't have a child, how can you know how to do it? You know, just act, focus on what you want to do, act in spite of your fear, and the actions and everything you need to do will come to you, and you can take a step. Then stop judging yourself. Do you know that reasons why most women don't succeed in business is because even before the business gets off the ground, they're judging themselves. They're making the mistake of thinking that they are not good enough. But let me tell you, who is good in anything? Everybody learns from somewhere. Even me that you're looking at, I was rubbish in some things, but I learned from somewhere. What I did, I stopped judging myself. I started to ask questions, because if you have this self-doubt of judging, all you can do is ask questions. Believe you, when you ask questions, you find that the people you even think are better than you, they also have that self-doubt or self-judgment. And you can see that you are even fantastic. The next one is action. You have to build a bridge between your thoughts, the things you are thinking of in your brain. You have to download it, and that is taking action. If you don't take action, nothing has happened. Even you, yesterday, you were a toddler when you were born. Remember? I mean, you were a baby. Then your body was acting, you became a toddler. Today, you are a big woman. If your body was not doing what it's supposed to do, you will have still remained a small baby. So why is it that God is doing his own work for you, but you don't want to take your own action? What are the things stopping us from taking action? I will use that towards my last slide. The next one to know is that there's always an end to the push. There's always an end to the push because things are not going to be the same forever. Anything you start, there is always an end to the push. So I'd like to talk about barriers that people face, especially women, in starting a business. Hold on. Stop shit. Sorry. Okay, I'd like to talk about the barriers that women usually face. Tega, have I got more time?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, the barriers that Nigerian women face when starting a business is number one, lack of skills. The lack of skill is that when I was in Nigeria, if I was still there, I think I would be so broke and very, very, because when I was in Nigeria, my parents went poor. My parents were so poor, my father even managed to buy a bicycle. We didn't have television. We used to watch television from our neighbor's window. So there's no way I could have known what I knew today. So the lack of skill actually affects a lot of people, and they don't have agencies or organizations where you can go and learn the skills. That is why when I learned what Loaninigeria was doing, I was so impressed. I sent that to all my family and all those people that needed support, because there they can gain the skills. Can you imagine somebody giving you authentic skill where they will also follow you up, and you even have the opportunity to be connected to Dr. Caroline Makaka in London? Which people will teach you that in Nigeria? So Loaninigeria is actually providing the skills, which most people, unfortunately, cannot get. The second one is, how do you deal with the lack of skills? Just by looking ahead, you can go to Loaninigeria. They provide lots of skills for young ladies so that they can have like a stepping stone to start whatever they want. And the ones they can provide, honestly, they can signpost you, because we have Loani in over 150 countries where there are people there to help. And the second one is traditional and societal limitation. Yes, growing up in Nigeria, there are certain things that they said a man can do and a woman cannot do. Because of that, it has limited ladies in just looking for things to do in one area. And this has been, the society has a lot of limitations. I being from Africa, I know that that country, what I know they believe in their culture, but also the culture is one of the problems, because people, because of culture, they said a woman cannot do this, you cannot ride a horse, or you cannot do certain things for business. So because of that, people get limited in what they want to do. So I believe that the world has changed. We're in 2021. So it may be happening before, but some people are breaking the boundaries. They are breaking the boundaries. Like the young girl that was the first flight lieutenant, I was so happy. Unfortunately, she got killed, but she was the first woman Navy fighter in Nigeria. Then the other one is male dominancy. Sometimes the men don't feel that the woman should go to work, because they feel that as a wife, when you go there, you start feeling big, or that other people will see you. How do we overcome this? Easy. For a woman, before you even think of a business, speak to your husband. When you are speaking to him, tell him how you are going to make his load lighter, because him bringing all that money and giving you to look after the children, that is good, but he needs support. After all, God said that women should be the helpmate. So if you show him that you are actually going there to do your work and to support him and also show some respect. I'm sure he will allow, it will remove that thing from his face so that he will know that you are supporting him. And also be aware that some of his friends might be jealous and they will be telling him. So once you speak to him yourself, he will actually support you, even with the children. Then the other one is lack of humility. Hey, how many of you know the amount of women that want to start a business? They go and rent shopping and ShopRite. If you were with me, you could see that shop. Within 2 weeks, nobody is coming to that shop because they were not humble. In London here, we start our business from the room. When it sells, we hire one shop. But in Nigeria, they hire a big shop and it crumbles because they've spent money decorating the shop. And also, it's also pride. A woman feels, no, why should I just have this small shop in front of my house? It doesn't work that way. Even in the US, everybody is starting small. And it's when they make the money that they start to hire all those things that you see in Nollywood and you think that is the life. They all started somewhere. Then the other one is fear of failing. Yes, people are afraid to fail because look at the COVID. Some people opened their business and the COVID crushed it. How do you deal with the fear of failing? By making sure you get information. You don't just see your friend doing hairdressing and you rush and go and open the hairdress. Find out, before you open, do a research. Find out how many customers are on that street, how many hairdressers are there. Even if you want to open on that street, that's what Nigerians don't do. Be different. Put your own sign. So be shiny and make sure that your girls wear apron. I bet you everybody will come to your salon because they will think you have the best people. Because if you can't beat them, just be different. When you are different, you get more people. Then Nigeria people, you don't like people to criticize you. You are not open to criticism. How do you know you are good? Somebody serve you, somebody buy jollof rice from you and they say the rice doesn't taste nice. And you start to abuse them. You tell them, God punish you. No, what you have to know is that say thank you and taste that rice. If you give them free rice for even telling you the truth. Because once they tell you the truth, because sometimes when you are there, you can't see what you are doing wrong. It will give you the opportunity to change so that you can make, what do they call it? Quality assurance. They're actually giving you free information. So be open to critics. And also the next one is lack of finance. There's nowhere that people can get free finance. But I have free information for you. I don't know if it's still around. The bank in Nigeria, they actually have a criteria for giving small loans. The criteria is that you open a business account in the bank in Africa, but I know about Nigeria, and you operate it for 6 to 1 year. After 6 months, you can apply for loan because now they've realized that there's no job. And what they can do is to help the people, but they don't tell you. People go and pray in church every day. They don't tell you all those information. So I'm actually trying to help the Nigerian youths so that they can be better. Because I came from that background. When I came here, I was very, very, I didn't even have, I don't even know how I came to this country. Though I didn't come by Libya though, but this is, if Libya was there, I would have come there. But don't go to Libya, my friend. Then the next one is poor business structure. When you open your business, you pack all your family in the business. You don't want to help Mama Sikira and her children, or you don't want to give job to somebody else. You see, when you pack your family in the business, except you are just lucky, some of them, well, I know the Igbo people are different because the Igbo people, they want to help their family, they want to make sure the business works. But other parts of Nigeria, the families are not as committed as you are to your business. So what do? You can hire a help in the shop. If you are not the help that you pay, but you can put your brother or sister to oversee, but don't let them be managing the person. Then if you don't know how to do accounting, you can hire an accountant. You can also hire somebody that will do the website or, flyers for you. Don't just say because you don't know. I remember so many years ago, I didn't do anything because I don't know how to do it. Because I believe that because I have business, I have to know everything. Then what did I do? I met, let me not say Professor Caroline Makaka, and she showed me how to do it rightly. Me that I'm speaking here today, I'm just a student of Professor Makaka. She coached me so much that I now stop making the mistakes. Because if you don't live the way you want to live, like Dr. Randi spoke today, I was actually listening to her. I've seen so many women that spoke in a very candid way about their life. They're not speaking just because they want to share information. They want you to know that they went through a lot, sometimes even more difficult. And because of that, they created something, not because they want to make money, but because they want to leave a legacy so that in future, one day when we all die, people will read the book and say, oh, that is this person and that is that person. Even Shamila Ranjava, she has left the period cup, the menstrual cup, which I've been telling people about. And all the people here today, I'm actually so grateful that they showed up. And what Tega is doing is creating a legacy for Nigeria. She's not doing it for herself. She's creating it because she knows what will come out of it. And not to talk of Simone Clarkson and our Professor Makaka. She has left a big legacy. Without Professor Makaka, I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would have been in one bush, but she got me out. So today, I just want to tell that I have a YouTube page, I have a Facebook page. What I'm doing in my page, I'm trying to show our girls, especially because when I was in Nigeria, my father died when I was young. Nobody taught me anything. All they did was left me. I was parenting myself. I didn't know what to do. I just came into this country by chance. So coming here has actually helped me to look back in Nigeria. But what I want to do is to give back. Because if people like, if Dr. Randi, Shamila, and Professor Caroline Makaka, they are going with Tega Okoro to give back to our country, why shouldn't I create something? So I'm teaching the women how to think critically. So I do critical thinking, teaching Nigerian, because when I was there, I don't think like that. Once you think like that, you find out that critical thinking can actually make you rich. I talked about it on my YouTube, which is the Reinvent Yourself TV. So thank you so much, Tega. And I'd like you to know that if you don't do anything today, one day there's a clock. The clock goes forward, it doesn't go backward. One day we're all going to reach the edge, which is we're going to leave this world. Do you want your dreams to die with you? Don't let your dream die with you. Start today to become relevant in your life. Start today to put your ideas in the world. And so I'd like to ask a few questions. Okay, that's my contact that you can see. Stop share. So I'll finish my sharing. I just want to ask a few questions. What is it that you want to get yourself empowered in? Is it in your life, your business, or with your partner? What areas do you think we should focus our empowering on? That's a question. Is it yourself, your family, or your, okay, that's good. Well, in conclusion, thank you. Those are lovely ones. I think we should focus our empowering ourselves on ourselves, because once you're empowered, you can empower your family, you can empower your husband, and your business can boom. So that's more important. So just focus on filling your own cup. That is you empower yourself. Because if you keep on helping your husband, helping your family, and you are angry with them. You are shouting at your children. Because of few people I brought you to this world, then I don't have a life. That is not good. When you are happy, even if the children are misbehaving, you will talk to them with love, even though you are correcting them. So make sure that you stay empowered, because empowering yourself is success, and success brings confidence. Thank you. I sound like over to you, Tega.
I have one question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay, please.
Adaobi, thank you so much. So inspiring as usual. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. I want to ask, I have one question. How did you, because I know your story, but I want the audience and to understand, how did you reinvent yourself?
Oh, yes. Reinventing myself was, when I came into this country, I didn't get the help I needed. And I felt alone, but I was so, I spent my time here supporting a lot of people. Then later I blamed all of them for using me. Nobody used me. I was just not focusing on myself. It was because I was bitter. That's why I said, don't be bitter. I wasn't happy. I now suffered 5 heart attacks. Even before the ambulance came, I was dead for 10 minutes. And the ambulance said, she's already dead though. You have to sign, let us switch off. Let us put her in the mortuary. They brought a mortuary bag. My cousin, because she's an illegal immigrant, she ran away because she thought they would put her in prison if she signed. You see, sometimes bad things save us. But when I recovered, because I didn't recover, I was with the angels, where they actually the one that told me what to do today. When I recovered, I was told that I had suffered 5 cardiac arrests, and that they don't know if I will leave the hospital because I have multiple organ failure. Everything, I was still connected to the machine, still with ventilator, but I could hear. Imagine waking up and all you hear that they don't know whether you have 24 hours to live. That was my reality. I was playing with my life. My mother is 98, and I thought, oh, we have long life. Long life is down to you, not your family. Eventually, everything came back. That's why I know that sometimes I believe, before I used to believe that people lie when they say they see angels or that they saw life after death. I used to think they're lying. But when I saw it, God showed it to me, and I remember everything. It was in that instant, I begged God, I said, please, God, if you save my life, I am going to change. I didn't even know I was telling God that. But when I recovered, I forgave everybody, all the people I was having malice with. Nigeria, we can keep malice. I was so happy that I have another chance. How many people that had 1 chance had 2 chances? I was so happy. Do you know that all I was doing was that, what can I do before I die again? Because then life became important. Sometimes when you are well, you don't have any tragedy. You think, oh, you are here forever. And people look at you. Why are you looking at me like that? Like all these young boys. I coach young boys. Young boys say they stab another person because they diss you. They look at me somehow. If you like, you pour water on my head. Thank you. I'm going. Because you know what? I didn't know it was very easy to die until I died. Me, I was a health guru. I was using salad master cookware. I was juicing. I don't even eat meat. I only eat cow that is organic if I want to eat. Still, I suffered 5 heart attacks or cardiac arrest. So what I'm saying is that, you see, it's about the way you see life. You have to intentionally choose life every morning. Let me tell you a secret. You know what? Before I sleep every day, I put my affairs in order. Because me that died, they said if nobody was there, I would have been dead forever. So every night I want to go and sleep, I'm thinking, God, will I wake up the next morning? But you guys, people here, they are well. Nobody's afraid. I have to deal with that every night. And as soon as I wake up, I'm shocked. Caroline will be shocked. Dr. Caroline will be shocked. Even Randy. When I wake up and see the light, I say, yippee, another day. So what I do, I write only 3 things I want to achieve that day. Only 3 things. And once I've achieved them, that is it. So every day I must produce something, every day. And that's why I want to help, because I know the challenges of the people in Nigeria. I can help them. I'm actually going to work with Tega so that I cannot give you money, but I can show you some ways that through Dr. Caroline, on how to make your days and your business profitable. That's why I like Loani, because they can connect you to all the people. So I had to reinvent myself, because after hearing that I was dead, and I said, my kids are still small, just early teenagers. And I'm thinking, if I die, who will look after them? Who will do this? And I remember all the dresses in my wardrobe, because I have fine clothes. I was keeping them for the day I will go to Nigeria, or the best day. Do you know now? This one, I bought it this morning and I'm wearing it today. I don't keep anything. As soon as I buy things, I'm no wedding dress. All my clothes, even the wedding one, even the dress I wear on stage, I wear them at home, because I want to make sure that I've worn that dress, because nobody knows. Imagine me, I was young. No, I've never had heart problem in my life. And I was dead on arrival by the ambulance. So I thank God for stepping in to save my life. And I ask you to see every day as a gift. Forget about yesterday. That was why I decided to reinvent myself. This is not me, but because I had to bounce back from the dead, so I decided to reinvent. And how I did it was, I looked for a mentor. I have a lot of mentors. Randy, Dr. Caroline, and others are my mentors, because having mentors, you can imagine how they can save somebody from the dead. Even Shamila, saving me from the dead and making me to be here talking on stage. I've been to all over the world, speaking in Dubai, in America, in India, in India, I spoke to about 10 schools. So I just feel that sometimes you take your life for granted. And I tell Nigerian people, if somebody push you on the street, let them go, because you don't know where the life is. If you're angry and you push somebody, maybe that's when they're about to die and they fall down. They will arrest you, or you have blood on you. Just leave them. People's lives are so fragile. So sometimes I've learned a lot. So reinventing myself is because I don't want death to catch me without using my resources. So that's why I reinvented, and I'm showing women how to reinvent yourself every day. Don't wait till you are old, because by that time, you don't know. Just do it today. Thank you, Caroline. I reinvented myself because I had cheated death and I want to live. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. You've answered the question.
Thank you.
Wow, I am speechless. I don't know. I've not been like this before, but you got me on the spot. Like I don't know what to say. You really, oops. Okay, I have to say something. Thank you very much for this session. I never knew your story, although I know you're a survivor from heart attacks, but I never knew your story was this strong. Like, it's really getting to me. But I thank God for your life. And I hope everyone who is watching, whether on Facebook Live or YouTube, will get to learn from these stories, because your story and the story of Dr. Randi Ward are similar. she has been involved in several situations that would have taken her life, but she's still here, standing strong and speaking and smiling, looking beautiful. And you crossed the path, you crossed over, but you're still here. It's so wonderful. I wish we had this goal like at the beginning of this session, like to motivate people to, because this session is powerful. I lack words to talk about what we've done today, but I will share it over and over again, and I hope a lot of people will get to watch and learn from it. And you talked about a lot of things about Nigerians. Yes, many are true. And that is why we were pushed to do what we are doing today. We are doing this to help these women to be self-empowered. We are pushing them, we're helping them, molding them so they can stand and they can be independent. Because with the limitations you stated, yes, they are true. We have many limitations here that are holding us back. And personally, I would have been limited, but I thank God for my partner. I thank God for my husband, who is a great power behind me, who has been a strong force, and he has been helping me all the way. Like, even each time I have to come on Zoom, sometimes when someone is not here to care for the children, he will care for the children while I'm here doing my meetings or doing my presentations or whatever. So many people don't have the opportunity we have or the knowledge we have, and that has really limited them or put them in a kind of a circle, which you stated a lot of them. This is not a night for me to talk, but I just want to say thank you very much, because it's not for me, it's for both of you, it's for Dr. Randi Ward and Ambassador Adaobi. But I just want to say a lot of people will learn a lot from this. And I really appreciate both of you for coming on tonight to speak to the Nigerian women and to motivate them and to help them to build themselves, to help them to be better women. Thank you very much, because your stories are really touching and they're inspirational. Like Dr. Randi Ward said, do not dream big, dream bigger, because the sky is the limit, and reach for the stars. You can do anything. So far, you push yourself. I used to be someone that is scared of a lot of things. Yes, many people don't know this. I know some people watching on Facebook Live who see me a lot doing things. They think I am this strong person. I am this I'm this person that can go overboard. But I used to be scared of a lot of things. Even speaking on Zoom, I grew gradually. Dr. Caroline can testify to that, because initially when I started this hosting, I was not as strong as this, and I'm still growing because I'm not still good with this. But I know these sessions will bless a lot of souls, and it will help improve their personality and improve their life. Once again, I want to say thank you, Dr. Randi Ward. Thank you, Ambassador Adaobi. Thank you, Dr. Shamila, our African chairperson, for supporting us. And thank you, Dr. Caroline, because you're the strong force behind this. If not for you, I don't think we would have been here today, because you've been a helping hand. You've been the one bringing us the force, pulling us together as one big family. And I really want to appreciate you. Today might be the last day of our session, but if we have any other sessions in future, I don't know if Dr. Lenora confirmed her. I don't know if Dr. Lenora confirmed.
I would like to say something later.
Okay, I'll give you that. I don't know if she confirmed us, but if she is not speaking, I guess she will speak in the next batch. But if we're ending today, I just want to tell everyone that we are not ending at this point. This might be the end of our batch B, but we'll be having our graduation ceremony where we'll be giving certificates, and we'll invite you all to come celebrate with us, to celebrate with the graduates, because it's not easy to learn and grow and also be molded and be taught, because it's one thing to make yourself available to be taught, and it's another thing to learn. So it's not easy. That is why we're going to celebrate these women. And after that, we hope to start off batch C, which, because we're looking at empowerment of 1,000 women. It's not an easy task, but we are not scared of it. We are going to do it, and we will do even more, because we are making the impossible possible, because we have God by our side. And so at batch C, I think we'll be starting batch C soon. We have other projects which we'll be announcing. And after, by October, we'll be doing our second, because we had our first campaign against domestic violence last year. And this year we'll be having the second one, the campaign against domestic violence. So if anyone is interested to speak, you could contact us at loaninigeria@gmail.com. Just inform us and we'll make it happen. You will be present in the session to speak to women who have been abused one way or the other. And also, we are looking forward to doing offline sessions, because we don't want to limit it to just online classes. So soon we'll be doing offline sessions where we'll be using different facilities for different facilities. We'll be working hand in hand with different facilities to teach these women. So, and also our long-term goal, which is a personal goal actually, and I am working hand in hand with Professor Caroline to make it happen, is to build a vocational center which will be free of charge for everybody. We'll be building a vocational center where people will come in and learn skills absolutely free of charge, and not just in Nigeria. I'm hoping we'll build it in over 10, 15 countries around the world. And so thank you, everybody. I really appreciate. I'll give Ambassador Adaobi the time to speak. She wants to speak something. And also we have our sister from Nigeria who is present too. She wants to speak. So you could take over immediately. Ambassador Ade will be finished, so you could just take over from her. Thank you very much.
Hello, I just want to say that since we are talking about business, do you know that 40% of Nigerian women are entrepreneurs? And the way these women come about business are two routes. One is necessity-driven business, which is the women in this group are pushed to start their business because they have no other income. So that is necessity-driven business. Then the other one is opportunity-driven business, which is the women enter the business because they want to pursue a passion and opportunity. So the opportunity-driven business don't really go a lot because these women, they can eat 3 square meals, but they have nobody to help with their passion. Like you want to tell your story, you won't find somebody like Dr. Randi that will encourage you to tell your story so that your business can go. So because of that, the business might flounder, except if you meet somebody like Tega, Loaninigeria, they could help you to structure your business so that your passion can grow. But the women with the necessity-driven business who started because they have no money, they are so broke, they are looking for source of income, they tend to stay longer because they have to stay so that they keep feeding themselves. So they stay longer in this business. But the problem is these women don't grow. They just remain maybe pepper seller. Because I know of a lady that I've actually helped. She used to sell food. She was selling food. She's called ACMB. She's on Facebook. She's my friend. So I used to send money to her. Then she started selling food to people. Then she was sending to the bank during their lunch break. So then she has to go and buy crayfish. And I told her that, can't she go to and buy the crayfish herself? She went to buy the crayfish. She will buy in big sacks. Today, she doesn't sell the food anymore. She sells only for special customer. She has transformed her business to making suya spice, crayfish, dry fish. And she actually ships to US and London. This is a woman that, so if somebody wants to know, because I'll be asking her if she can use those skills I taught her. Because what I do, when people have an idea, I'm very good at transforming that idea into profit for them. But you need to help me to transform mine, because I'm good at helping people. So if anybody wants to know that, I'll actually ask her to join Loani, because I think, what's her name? She's ACMB, she's on Facebook. Thank you. Just make sure that whatever your business is driven, if it's necessity or opportunity, find the right mentors, because I don't like the way the country is. People are just suffering for nothing. I have suffered before. I wasn't immune to what happened in Nigeria, but we must look after ourselves as women, because women are the ones that build cities and countries. Remember Queen Amina, or all those queens? The women were the one making it. So why should we now become complacent? I found my voice and my life through tragedy. Don't wait for tragedy. Not everybody will survive. Even one heart attack, I survived 5. So look for help and find a mentor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Adaobi. Our sister, I don't know, the Infinix Note 7, I don't know her name, but she wants to speak. Can you hear me?
She's got Patricia on her.
Okay, Patricia, okay. So please, you want to speak? Can you hear me? It's like she's having network issues. I hope she will be able to speak before we end for tonight. But we're done for tonight, and it was a wonderful session. In fact, that's what I have to say. And I want to say thank you once again. Thank you everyone watching from Facebook or watching from YouTube. I want to say thank you. God bless you all. And you could partner with us. You could sponsor. You could decide to sponsor. God could put it in our heart to sponsor a lady, to sponsor one of them, their businesses, to help them start up, because that's where we are going towards. We want to give them capital. So after learning the skills, they will start up. So if God puts it in your heart to sponsor any one of them, please do not hesitate to contact us via our page. Either you could contact us through Loani Global, Loani Spirit of Sisterhood, or Loaninigeria, or you could contact Dr. Caroline Makaka or myself, Tega Okoro, or you could send us a mail at loaninigeria@gmail.com, or loaniglobal@gmail.com, or Loani International, Ladies of Our Nation International@gmail.com. There are so many ways you could reach us. We also have our Africa chairperson, Dr. Shamila Ramjawan. So if any one of us you want to reach out to, you could reach out to us and connect to know how to be a part of this wonderful initiative. So it's like our sister, she's ready to speak. You could go ahead. Please just unmute yourself and go ahead, please. Okay, so if she can't speak right now, then we'll have to end for tonight. I want to say thank you very much once again. Tonight, Ambassador Ade will be speaking. She used to be our, she's very good at closing remarks. She's always helping us out in the closing remarks, but tonight I don't think she will be taking the closing remarks, because she in fact, she has said a lot. So let me just excuse her and allow her rest. So thank you everybody for joining
I think she's
us.
ready, Tega. I think she's now ready to speak.
Okay, she's ready to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caroline, yes, today has been inspirational. I was actually happy that let's thank Professor Dr. Caroline Makaka for setting up this. She's shared some insights about her life with us and about how she started her vision. Even when she didn't even have the vision, she was writing it down and it became life. So I think maybe some of you can do with writing down your thoughts in paper so that you don't forget. Because sometimes in dreams, I used to remember things I want to do. Then I remember the name of something I want to do, then I forget later. So just write it down. If she didn't write it down, maybe Loani won't be here today. And then we also want to thank Dr. Randi D Ward. She shared so much. She actually, I'm so glad that she's telling us that we can write our stories. Because if we don't write our stories, how are we going to impact others? Do you know that if you want to, you can be 10 human beings at once? Do you know that? Even in 1 month, you can be 10 human beings. How do you become that? And that is by reading books. So if you want somebody to become you, like Dr. Randi said, go and tell your story. And if the person reads your story, they become you. So if I read Dr. Randi's story, read Shamila's story, read Tega's story, every time you are reading something, you are being transformed into the person in that book. And if they have good experiences or any lessons in life, you can actually take that lessons away with you. Most of the things I learned from books, and also by how can you give back? By giving back by writing a book. So if I were you, I will explore what Dr. Randi Ward is saying, and also living a legacy. How do you live a legacy so that when you die, it's not bye-bye? I can go to the library today and read J.F. Kennedy's book. I can go and read Usman Danfodio, all those people. You can read about Ojukwu. You can read about all those people that have died, because a book is like a legacy. Even your children say your book, you won't know. They might not read it now, but when they say it, they will go and pick up that book. So that's the reason I wrote my book. So Dr. Randi Ward has given us insight. She also shared important lessons from her childhood. Even with her leg, I was blown away by how many times she had accidents or she suffered injury. And every time she bounces back. I mean, that is an inspiration. Then I have spoken about how I left Nigeria. I'm not from a rich family. In fact, my senior in class is RMD, Dr. Richard Mofe Damijo. I saw it was 60 yesterday, and we're in the same school. He was far my senior, but I remember him as a young boy. Then we're in University of Benin. So I have actually come from a long history of self-sabotaging, but here am I today. Thank God I was saved, but I was only saved through tragedy. But I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to make haste while the sun shines. And also, if you happen to meet Tega or Dr. Caroline Makaka or even the Loani family, they will be able to support you. Because Loani has actually supported so many people. And I'd like to thank Tega for allowing us to share with the women she put together, and for also being part of the batch B in these courses. Also, if you can let us know how we can share this link to our families in Nigeria. So I hand over back to you, Dr. Caroline. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Dr. Caroline, over to you.
Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Oh, Ada, you're such an inspiration. Thank you. I think Patricia thinks she's ready now. You can go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all amazing words you have given us tonight. God bless you all richly. Dr. Rwanda, I really appreciate you. I love your history and how far you have gone. And my lovely sister, Adaobi, God bless you. I'm really proud of you. God bless you. God bless you. And Tega, just seeing you for the first time, I'm also inspired by you. And the other person, every one of you that spoke tonight, may good Lord bless every one of you. And I will be glad to continue to be part of this program. Through Christ our Lord, I pray. God bless you all. Good night.
Wow, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. Tega, are you there?
Thank you, Patricia. I invited her. I remember.
Adaobi is my sister. We are from the same place.
Yeah, I invited her.
Yes. I just today. I'm really happy. I'm really happy.
So
I've
we've
learned
come
a
to-
lot. I've learned.
Yeah. You could connect with me. We could chat on
Yes.
WhatsApp or via call.
Yes.
I'll just get your contact from from Adaobi so we could talk. And you can be one of us in Loaninigeria so we could make the world a better place hand in hand. So with that,
I'm so happy.
With that, we come to the end of tonight's session. Thank you everyone for being with us from the beginning and even till this time. It's been a long session and it's been inspiring and heartwarming. Thank you everybody, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tega,
Thank you.
Dr.
Bye.
Randy, everyone. Adaobi, Dr. Shamila, thank you so much. Let's just keep going. Thank you so much. God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.